Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. It's maybe the trickiest thing. I know that getting the right exposure is maybe one of the trickiest things about shooting on film. And that's most likely because you are not getting any instant feedback. You have to wait till you shot your entire roll, then get it developed. After that it has to be scanned by the lab or you have to scan it yourself. And after all of that, you need to remember what the exposure was in the first place. So to help you out, I thought let's make an episode about the famous Sunny 16 rule. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk It Over. So, this is a simple Sunny 16 chart that I've made for you guys. Take a print screen and save it on your phone. As you can see, it clearly says what exposure you should be having for your situation. At the left we have a clear sky with a bright sun, and at the other side we have a sunset. And now you're thinking, why should I bother using this? So let me explain. Some cameras just don't have internal light meters. So then it's an obvious way to get the right exposure. But like me, my M6 does have a light meter, and there are a lot of moments where I use it. But there are also moments that are happening very quickly, and therefore I already need to know which settings I need to use before I bring my camera to my eye. And most of the time I'm already thinking, okay, it's cloudy, so my settings should be around this. And then when I need to take a shot, my settings are already correct. It's a good practice to know which exposure settings you need to use before even touching a camera. It will make you a lot more confident too. So, how do we apply this to our work? Well, the rule is set your shutter speed at the same value or as close as possible to the film speed that you are using. So let's say for this episode we are shooting Portra 400. Then our shutter speed should be 1/400. But on my Leica the closest shutter speed would be 1/500. Let's take an example image. As you can see, it was a very clear and sunny day. That means that we are at the far left side of the chart. So the exposure for the shot would be 1/500 at f16. Because remember, we are shooting a 400 speed film. Next example. This was a very overcast day, just like right now, with almost no direct sunlight. So we take a look at the chart and we see that for overcast, our aperture should be 5.6. So then the exposure would be 1/500 at f5.6. One more, which is a bit more tricky. It was on a very sunny day, but there were some clouds in the sky too. So then we would be shooting at f11 and a shutter speed of 1/500. If you memorize this chart, then you will get the hang of it very quickly. It will almost become a second nature without even thinking about it. But that will take some practice. You don't even have to take a photo, just look outside. Calculate in your mind what the exposure would be, then get a light meter or point your camera towards it and see if you're right. A lot of street and documentary photographers use this method every single day and could go without a light meter. If you build up the confidence, then you'll improve your photography too. And then you might ask yourself, what if I want to overexpose my film? The easiest thing to do is just to think that your ISO is a lower number. Like if we are still using Portra 400 but we want to overexpose it by one stop, we just think that it's 200 and our shutter speed should be the same. So it should be 1/200 or in my case 1/250th. But if you think that's too slow for a shutter speed, then you can also open up your aperture. Then let's say a sunny day would be f11 instead of f16. And the overcast day would be f4 instead of f5.6. I think it's easier to remember the shutter speeds though than to switch the apertures around, because it's called Sunny 16. Here are some examples from a variety of different situations. But before that, if you thought that this was already helpful, hit that like button and therefore support the channel. Much appreciated. Hopefully after this episode it's a lot more clear to you what the Sunny 16 rule is all about. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any more questions. I will be happy to help you out. Also, let me know if you are going to use this in your photography, because I really think that it will help out a lot by building more confidence in shooting film, or photography in general, of course. But with that being said, I would like to thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week. Peace.